So Mal Meninga leads the world champions Australia out for the last time. And definitely he wouldn't want to bow out at international level with a defeat in a match of this scale. But Shaun Edwards returns from his one-match suspension at international level to lead out the Great Britain side as well. So this expectant crowd awaits the appearance of the Great Britain side, and support here, Jonathan, at Elland Road, all important to their prospects today.
Yeah, you know, it's a great atmosphere here. You know, they're on top of you at Elland Road, and if anything, I think that you know, would benefit the lads. Hopefully, it will anyway.
So they wait in the tunnel. Ellery Handley, and Shaun Edwards there at the head of the Great Britain team with a mighty task in front of them today. But here's the reception for Great Britain. Left you in no doubt that it's a big match with a big atmosphere. Jonathan, will have more thoughts from you at half-time. There's UK snooker as well to come at the end of this big match at Elland Road. Let's hand you straight to our match commentator, Ray French.
Thank you, Steve. A capacity 39,000 crowd in high spirits, and I think more than ready for the action.
Toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
A good contingent of Australian fans there for the Australian national anthem, Advance Australia Fair, and now God Save the Queen.
Save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save our Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our Queen.
Nerves on edge for both players and fans. The Great Britain coach, Ellery Hanley, has had to contend with both injuries and illnesses this week. But with loose forward Phil Clark switched to stand off, he shows he's not afraid to gamble. Gary Connolly moved to full-back. He brings a strong physical presence behind the scrum. But Shaun Edwards, for me, restored to the captaincy, he'll be the key to success. It'll be Edwards' battle with Ricky Stewart, I think, that will determine the outcome. But Australia, no problems, retained the same 13 that did so well at Old Trafford, and that means Great Britain have to restrict the flow of passes that come from Ricky Stewart at scrum half. He's the key man, and the forwards, they must leave no gaps in midfield for loose forward Brad Fittler to exploit with that huge sidestep. An impressive lineup for the Kangaroos. Pitch in good condition. Heavy overnight rain didn't stop till about 11 o'clock this morning, but good drainage here at Ellen Road. And Mal Meninga there, a living legend in rugby league, if ever there was one. Shaun Edwards determined to silence his critics after Wembley, certainly has the talent to do so, and Meninga, one of Queensland's most famous sporting experts. And after Graham Annesley in the first two tests, a policeman from Sydney, Bill Harrigan, to whistle us through the third. And as usual, Joe Lydon and Steve Sims with me here in the commentary box, and both as much on edge as me.
Yes, Ray, it's an exciting day. Today it goes down to this game, the outcome of this Ashes, and I expect that it's going to be a tough encounter.
Well, it's the big one. After one game all in the series, this is definitely do or die for both teams.
Certainly do or die. Can Great Britain break the Kangaroos' 21-year reign of invincibility? It's Shaun Edwards then trying to get a kicking game going already. Just pushed it forward. Brett Mullins. And Steve, good chases there. We've given Mullins far too much room in the previous two tests, haven't we?
You notice that Shaun Edwards kicked from dummy half to make sure all the players were onside, and the chase was good.
And Great Britain moving up very quickly, but Renouf gets the ball away to Ettingshausen, beats Betts, but good cover tackle there from Shaun Edwards. Superb effort from the Wigan pair there. The prop Barry McDermott and Shaun Edwards setting the example for captaincy at number 7.
We see Australia's willingness, though, to put the ball out wide straight away. The first chance they've had, they go wide through Meninga to Ettingshausen in the wing.
This pitch here, Joe, actually a couple of metres narrower than the one at Old Trafford. And Phil Clark there in his first touch of the ball at standoff. And Richard down there on the touchline.
Yes, Ray, John Keir, Great Britain's Director of Coaching, was saying just before this game that the Great Britain boys are more nervous about this one than they were in the previous two tests. He concedes the Australians man for man are superior, but he thinks they might be beatable.
Well, I would agree with John, but I don't think it's a bad thing to be nervous. Overconfidence, I think, is often the undoing of a player. But Great Britain losing the ball there. Bradley Clyde had an outstanding tour, this Canberra Raiders second row. Ian Roberts, number 10. And Stewart's already at the helm of things. Oh, a wild pass from Mal Meninga. Now that Meninga, he'll not like that, but Paul Newlove already putting him down.
Great Britain have started off the defence well. Not only they're slowing the player down when the tackle's made, they're also moving up very fast on their opponents and their opposite numbers.
It's obvious already though, Steve, Australia are trying to put that ball out to the wings, aren't they?
They are. They're just trying to push it a little bit too much at the moment. There's 80 minutes of this game to go, and there's no need to push the ball at this stage.
Chris Joynt playing in his favoured loose forward role. Edwards, good ball to Barry McDermott. Still manages to get that ball away. Newlove, he's got Betts outside him, steps inside. Oh, tremendous run from Paul Newlove. This big 15-stone Bradford Northern centre. Great Britain on the attack. Clark. Oh, and the touch judge is on the field. He's interfered with play, really. Mr. Blacklock came on the field, he spotted an incident, but Bill Harrigan was allowing play to go on. He was playing advantage.
I think it's something that happened in back play to Sean Edwards. Whether it was hit off the ball, I'm not quite sure.
And certainly a nasty-looking injury there to Sean Edwards. He's in considerable pain. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. I remember Edwards suffering a cracked jaw at Wembley.
It was after the ball had gone. Sean Edwards got the ball away to Paul Newlove and he was hit just after the ball left his hand.
It's number 11, Dean Pay, who's had the warning from referee Harrigan, and thankfully Sean Edwards is okay. So, not the best of tackles from Dean Pay. Edwards in for some rough treatment. But he's a tough, brave lad. He had a very nasty injury in a Wembley Cup final not long ago, and he gritted his teeth and played on.
Test matches were never meant to be easy, Ray, but he was hit slightly after the ball had gone there.
Yes, that was a nasty tackle, actually, Steve.
It was. It looked like elbow over the top there from Dean Pay, and he's probably lucky that he's still on there.
And I think one of the problems was that Great Britain had a very, very good attacking move down the right-hand side.
It was very promising. They'd gone left, and then they were shipping the ball across to the right-hand side when the linesman came on. It was a promising move that could have resulted in 4 points, never mind 2 from this penalty.
And a nerve-wracking situation for the youngster, 19 years of age, Andrew Fowell. He is a very, very good goal kicker, but of course he gets few opportunities at Wigan with the ace marksman, Frano Botica. His first shot, and it's a good one! Straight as an arrow between the uprights. A boost for Great Britain, 2-0 already.
This is a kick that'll settle the nerves of Andrew Farrell. He's big enough to hit the ball from nearly anywhere in the Australians' half, and that one was accurate as well. 2 points for Great Britain. Great start.
And Gary Connolly at full-back, a role I must confess I prefer him in. Very strong, powerful player.
And the news of Sean Edwards is that it's his cheekbone that's causing the concern. It's the cheekbone he fractured at Wembley in 1990. So he's obviously going to feel the pressure of this game very early.
Sean Edwards directing in midfield, and Lee Jackson taking good advantage there at the play of the ball. Great Britain open very, very confidently. McDermott. Great Britain, Steve, have got to hold this ball and really pressure the Aussies in this opening 20 minutes, haven't they?
They have. They've had a good set of 6 here. Good kick downfield, a good chase, and put them under some pressure.
And certainly the chasers putting Australia under pressure here. Nowhere to go for Rod Wishart. Clyde seems to be the one Kangaroo forward relishing the battle at the moment. Number 12. Fittler. Walters. And well spotted there by number 9 for Great Britain. Lee Jackson. Great Britain last won these Ashes way back in 1970. Players like Cliff Watson, Roger Millward were in operation. And 1959 when we were last successful here on British soil. So, plenty to do. Ofire. I think just looking at Martin Ofire, Steve, will be looking to try to launch Ofire on the outside, won't they?
Well, that's the idea, because he's got the speed, but the beginning of this game I've noticed that when the forwards are running, Martin Ofire's been up the middle backing them up.
Bill Clark using the blind sensibly, but well looked after by Daly. One of the key areas, the battle between those two standoffs, Daly and Clark. Edwards to Robinson. This little man, Joe, you play with him at Wigan. He took the ball up as many times as a forward at Old Trafford.
He never shrugs the task of taking the ball up. He's not very big high-wise, but he certainly has a heart, and he'll take the ball up all day for you.
And once again, 2 men to take advantage of Edwards' kick. Roberts driving in. 3-4 men this time to meet him. There's a will in this Great Britain camp. These forwards very fit, very lively. Hay to Stewart. Number 7, Ricky Stewart, dominated the Old Trafford test with his passing, with his kicking, and a penalty. Lee Jackson holding down there.
Yeah, Lee Jackson, there were 3 men in the tackle, and Lee Jackson just holds him down that little bit too long and causes a penalty. It was interesting actually before the game to listen to Jonathan Davis's comments saying that Great Britain were going to concentrate on keeping the Australians, slowing the play of the ball down and trying to slow all the attacking play down that the Australians produce.
They certainly do get a roll on. They try to get up very, very quickly and roll on. But the Australian forwards, Steve, they're not running from great depth, are they?
They're not. They're standing very flat, and they're running one out at the moment, like the first test at Wembley. They've got to start moving that ball and stand deeper.
Dean Pay, one of the huge successes on tour, is number 11, Canterbury Bankstown. But Australia on the attack now. Fickler trying to use that sidestep. Back to Daly. Very strong upper body strength, Laurie Daly. On the 5th tackle. Stewart. The high one. Gary Connolly's coming for it. Oh, and he takes it superbly. That's the confidence at full-back I was talking about. He has the physical size and the steel to take a kick like that. That puts confidence in you, doesn't it?
That was a great take, that. Under pressure. He's up in the air, Gary Connolly, and that was enormous. I think Alan Hunt's in plenty of trouble out there.
The last couple of minutes he's been limping in the back play. Seems to be an ankle problem.
Andy Farrell. Good run there from the youngster, former Oral St James amateur player. And Carl Harrison now. Oh, and Ali from Halifax. Oh, I'll bet that was about force 9 on the Richter scale. Alan Hunt there receiving treatment. Edwards. Good positioning by Ettingshausen. Not a high tackle. Just grabbed him by the scruff of the collar.
Ian Roberts come out second best in that tackle on Carl Harrison there. He's still a bit groggy, Ian Roberts.
Daly looking for the short ball to Fickler. Back to Daly. That was good support work. Mullins is in there. Again, a man of great pace. Great Britain just cannot allow Mullins or Ettingshausen to get that ball outside. And did Australia play that ball? I doubt it. Payne, he's got an overlap. Two tackles remaining in this sequence. Good pass again, launches Daly there. Mullins. Newlove. Fired in. Oh, that's a forward pass to Connolly. Well taken. And the quick play of the ball. Well done. Dennis Betts. Offside. Steve Walters and company not retiring at the play of the ball. And that's what we were saying, Joe, about the speed of the play of the ball, wasn't it?
It is. Once they get that roll and once the Australians play the ball fast, you're on the back foot all the time. But Great Britain weathered the first Australian storm.
Ellery Hanley must be happy with this start. And Alan Hunt's going off there with that bad ankle. And Darryl Powell about to come on. Great shame for the St Helens player. And there we see Betts. Well, and was Ricky Stewart using his knees there? I think he was. And number 16 for Australia, Greg Florimore coming on. And as you say, Roberts in some pain after that tackle.
It was a hard tackle on Carl Harrison. He come out second best. It's the same move as in the second test where Greg Florimore come on, and he's a very strong player, Greg.
Jackson to Farrell. And it looks to be a blood bin for Ian Roberts, so he can come back on the field. Greg. Trying to staunch that blood. And Edwards trying to get things moving. Dennis Betts, I don't think, really expecting a pass there, but on the 5th tackle. Jackson. It's a tester for Ettingshausen. Now then, can they contain him behind the line? They do. Bad mistake there by Andrew Ettingshausen. The ball now having to be dropped out by the Kangaroos.
Great Britain a little bit flat-footed here in attack, but Lee Jackson puts the ball through, and once Andrew Ettingshausen has touched that ball, then everybody's onside. And Great Britain have a fantastic chase to pin him down behind his own try line.
Darryl Powell, very experienced test player on for Alan Hunt. Sheffield Eagles star. Stewart, the dropout. Well, we are at Elland Road. I think the soccer fans would have been pleased with that trap. Edwards looks for support from his forwards. He finds McDermott. The theory is that Barry McDermott's starting the game much better than coming on halfway through, Steve.
Yeah, well, probably at the beginning of the game he's not so hyped up as when the game's flowing, and he can come on there and settle down.
Great Britain now across the field. Clark, Edwards to Betts. Betts trying to get through. 8 metres from this Australian line. A fire switches to Robinson. Little darting, dashing run from the youngster. Billy Whiz, as this man is known. On the 5th tackle, Edwards. Back to Jackson. They contain the grubber kick. Play on. Well, he signalled the last tackle to receive a further 6 tackles from the opposition. They really have to make an effort to play the ball. Referee Harrigan judging that it merely ricocheted off a Kangaroo foot.
I think Martin Offiah has been involved in this game probably more than the previous first 2 tests.
And he looks more determined, Joe. He's running forward, not sideways, as he was at Old Trafford.
Well, he hasn't had those chances in the first 2 tests that he needs, and I'm sure now he's decided this is the 3rd test he has to go looking for it.
Paul Newlove gratefully accepts the ball. He's got support. He's got Phil Clark outside him. Australia unusually making mistakes. Great Britain accepting them. Darryl Powell. Good burst there from Darryl Powell. Edwards. Clark. Sensibly holding on there, I think. No need for too many risks. Edwards looks for Chris Joynt. Joynt far happier, I think, at loose forward than prop. Oh, well. Mr. Harrigan had called the tackle. He was held. You should be to the floor. The elbows must touch the floor, but Mr. Harrigan had called the tackle, and he passed after the tackle.
Yeah, here we see Chris Joynt. He was on his way down when he released the ball. The referee, Mr. Harrigan, must have said he was held.
So Stewart with the relieving kick. The Kangaroos set off in the morning for the 2nd leg of this tour to France. But this really is the 80 minutes that will make or break this successful 18th tour of Europe.
And the news of the Great Britain centre, the unfortunate centre, Alan Hunt, he's gone straight into the treatment room where he's got damaged knee ligaments. He's being examined by the team doctor, Dr. Ansar Zaman.
Clyde. Australia regrouping now. They've taken a fair battering, but this man Stewart directing operation again with these long passes. Meninga, the man who did the damage at Old Trafford with that block-busting run, but this time well looked after there by Andy Farrell. Stewart. Oh, that's a tester. Robinson's underneath it, but direct into touch, and so it'll be the handover to Great Britain.
The idea was right there, Ray, though, the high kick, everybody was on side, it was a great chase, it's just that it's gone out in the fall.
With Bobby Fulton there in his 6th season. We've got some of the top rugby union coaches here, Joe. We've got Mike Slemon and Richard Hill coming along to have a look for a few pointers for England's World Cup campaign. They were telling me they're looking how to break down defences. How does this Great Britain side break down Australia?
I think they've got to get the ball a little bit wider, maybe play some of the second rows in the centre and try and split those centres up.
And there is Alan Hunt really struggling with that knee ligament damage. A lot of pace gone from that Great Britain side. But Powell, a very crafty, clever player. England still on the attack. Edwards to Connolly. Greg Florimore, who's blossomed since the last season with the North Sydney, really made a fully fledged test player on this tour. And as has paid. Fittler. And Brett Mullins trying to break loose. Good pass to Wettingshausen. He's got sheer pace, he's got a man on the outside, but that's a superb tackle once again from Shaun Edwards. Twice we've seen Edwards go from wing to wing. Good tackle from Clark, and Jackson's in. That rocked Australia back 30 yards, but still the green and golds are coming. The fifth tackle, Great Britain have to hold out. Daly, the kick, oh, it's played on. Oh, it's unfortunate for Great Britain. Laurie Daly put the chip kick in. He accepted the ricochet. And the first try to Australia. His 9th test try of his career. And once again, the Canberra Raiders star comes up trumps. But a hint of luck there, definitely, Steve, wasn't there?
Well, I'm not sure it's luck. I think he's a great player, Laurie Daly. He moved forward with the ball. He took it to the defensive line, put the chip over the top. They've played at it. He's regathered. It was six tackles again, whether he scored or not there. A little chip over the top, and it was a great effort. He's a very hard man to stop, Laurie Daly, especially if you're going to stand flat-footed and wait for him.
Yes, this was unlucky for Great Britain's point of view. It's instinctive to put your hands up here. As Laurie Daly chips it, it's Paul Nealove there that puts his hands up and the ball bounces straight back to Laurie Daly.
The point is that when you're all going forward, then you can accept drops of luck like that. And Rod Wishart from the Illawarra Steelers. Again, at the beginning of this tour, perhaps a long way from being one of the front runners on the wings, but certainly those goals have proved invaluable. Wishart looking for the conversion, and he finds it. So with 21 minutes gone here at Ellen Road, Australia, the first strike, 6 points to 2. And rather against the run of play, really, Steve.
It has been, you'll see, it's on again here, Laurie Daly, little chip over the top. Nealove just gets a hand to it. It's great skills there, never took his eye off the ball, Laurie Daly, and scores the try. It was against the run of play. Great Britain's been probably the team that's making all the yard, especially around the behind the play the ball area, and Australia was probably lucky to get up in the Great Britain area.
Glenn Lazarus driving in, and there's the try scorer, Laurie Daly. Possibly heir apparent to Mal Meninga as the next captain of the Kangaroos. And that will put confidence into the tourists. Dean Payne. Good tackle from Carl Harrison. And Great Britain really now, they've really got to go up a gear, Joe, haven't they? At Old Trafford, we slumped from that try.
That's right, they have to stop Australia's momentum. They've just received the momentum through that try. They really have to get on top now and try and calm things down, play a little bit of possession football.
It's an update on the Australian forward Ian Roberts, who's sitting in front of the dugout. Rather more to it than it appeared. He's in the blood bin with a busted nose, but he also had a mild concussion, so the doctor's keeping a close eye on him.
Gary Schofield coming on for his record, equalling 46 test match, equalling Mick Sullivan's record of 46 tests. for the injured Phil Clark, and of course a great roar here from his lead supporters. But Great Britain in trouble already with 2 backs off, Hunt and Clark, and we could do without that in a third and final test decider. Florimo, Australia trying to take advantage then, really moving up a gear here now to pay. Great Britain defence stretched to the limit. Back to Fickler, a drive at the heart of that defence. 5 metres from the Great Britain line. Tremendous pressure being exerted by the world champions here. Stewart again. The dummy to Wettingshausen. Looked to shade forward to me, but Laurie Daly accepts it. Darryl Powell trying to slow him down. Fickler. Pay again. He's got Florimo. Last-ditch defence again by Sean Edwards. And Gary Schofield on the 5th tackle. Stewart, he's got an advantage here. A fire! He's intercepted! Can he get away? But he gets it to Jackson. Back to Newlove. Oh, tremendous piece of work there from Martin Firestein.
Oh, it's great. I thought when he got that ball, he was going to run the length of the field there, but Australia covered well in defence there.
Chris Joynt. Great Britain have really got to hold this ball. They've got to play out this series of 6 tackles. Gary Schofield, Edwards, Farrell. And the sad sight of Phil Clark going off with that leg injury. I don't think he'll need the stretcher though. Wettingshausen. Just 15 minutes remaining in this first half, and really, Steve, how difficult will it be for Great Britain to reorganise here now? Lost 2 midfield backs.
Well, that's a shame for them, because they've been playing quite well, and there's nothing in this game now but to lose 2 players, especially the calibre of Phil Clark and Alan Hunt. It's they just got to regroup now.
Fickler. Good switch of play by Fickler. Clyde.
I think he's been a bit lenient here, Bill Harrigan. There's a couple of cheap shots at Brad Clyde then, and he never done anything about it.
Walters on the 5th tackle. Certainly Bradley Clyde come in for some attack in this test series. Stewart. The reverse kick. Oh, Mullins is lurking very, very dangerously. That bounce will be important. Oh, and that bounce, the second one, was even more important. But look who was there again. Sean Edwards moving back in the sweeper role, clearing up the situation. Gary Connolly. And Martin O'Fire coming in well from the wing, giving his forwards a rest. But Great Britain, Joe, under tremendous pressure.
That was a beautifully weighted kick from Ricky Stewart there, just dropping it between the defensive line and the fullback. Very difficult to control it.
It's got to be tough out there because they're going down like flies. Greg Florimo just got injured there, so there's been about half a dozen injuries in the first 30-odd minutes.
Schofield, good pass to Paul Newlove. Now then, he's got a fire on the outside. Oh, he surely should have given it to a fire. There was room on the outside. I don't think Paul Newlove saw the Kangaroo coming across.
Not only that, he had the physiotherapist to contend with as well. You can't see it on the screen, but as he made the break, the Australian physiotherapist was still on the field.
And here we see Paul Newlove. He's coming outside, tries to get it inside, but Meninga saves the situation. Well, surely it must be Australia's ball. It must be Great Britain's ball. Phil Clark will take no more part in this game. But huge boos all around the ground, because surely referee Mr. Harrigan has made a big mistake there, Steve.
Well, I don't know whether it's Bill Harrigan or the touch judge. I think the touch judge has ruled on it. Bill Harrigan wasn't so close to the play, so I don't know whose fault it is, but maybe it might be the touch judge.
Well, whoever it is, Sean Edwards was not very happy with the decision. And here we see it, Steve.
As Paul Newlove turns the ball back inside, you see Mal Meninga's hand knock the ball clearly into touch.
And there's Meninga again. Daly. Good tackling stint there by Darryl Powell. Renner to Clyde.
Great Britain mustn't let decisions like that, Ray, get on top of them now. They must forget about it and get on with the game.
But it is decisions like that, Joe, that can change a game, isn't it?
It is, but the professional, it's a test match. They just have to forget it and try and regain possession.
Lazarus driving in on the 20-metre line.
The first assessment on Phil Clark is that he's got torn left ankle ligaments. That is a serious injury. Could be bad news for Wigan too.
Daly causing problems in midfield. Oh, he's just held. Pay, number 11 with that ball. Gary Connolly desperately trying to put him down. And the Australians really showing why they are the world champions. Fairly roaring in here to Great Britain. Mickey Stewart, a little rubber kick. The fire's there. But he's tackled behind the line. And once again now Meninga coming up. Well, they say he's lost a lot of pace, Meninga, but he's certainly not lost the instinct for the game.
He hasn't lost any size either. This is a lovely weighted kick just to roll onto the Great Britain's line. As Martha Fire picks it up, that must be an awful sight to see.
Well, Bobby Fulton never looks happy during a game, but he must be happy. Andy Farrell to drop out. Just 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Mullins, the misfield, but behind him. And lots of discussion there between Gary Hetherington and Ellery Hanley. And of course, Great Britain's options very much limited now with 2 substitutes already on the field.
They've just got to plug away now. I think he may have been trying to, may have had ideas of changing McDermott, but that may change now.
Meninga blasting in. Fittler done a lot of probing at first receiver there with Stewart. Got to make sure that this little Canberra Raiders scrum half goes down. Fittler again, choosing to go himself. Edwards is there. Not a good pass, but picked up by Daly. Pay again, having a good game, the second row. Surely a knock on. Play on, says Mr. Harrigan. And that will be another 6. Australia kicking out to play the ball. Farrell, oh, he's lost it. Lorimo. Lazarus, the big man, 17.5 stone, Brisbane Broncos. And Sonny Nicol about to come on, so that was what Ellery Hanley was conferring with Gary Hetherington for, I think. Dean Pay, out to Stewart. Stewart, he's got some space outside to Steve Renouf. Renouf inching his way closer. Just held up there. Once again, Powell doing a very good tackling stint. Aided by Gary Schofield. Tempers beginning to fray. Stewart. Oh, that long pass cut out 2 or 3. Newlove in for Meninga. Very good tackle there by the Bradford Northern centre, Paul Newlove. You've got to get up to Meninga very, very quickly. Fittler looking to put the ball away one-handed. On the 5th tackle. Great Britain desperate to hold out now. Stewart. Daly. Oh, the pass behind. Well, there's an obstruction there, surely, by Wishart. Sean Edwards, though, more single-minded. He went direct for the ball, and the penalty being given, Steve.
Yeah, there was interference there. I think Great Britain, though, they defended well then, but they're letting Ricky Stewart run. He's not normally a runner. He throws the long passes. That they have been letting Ricky Stewart run, and he's starting to dictate turns to him. They've got to stop him.
Sonny Nicol, the St Helens second row on the field. A tactical change, Joe.
I think it's necessary. Steve mentioned that they were going to rest the Great Britain forwards possibly sometime in this first half. They've not had that chance through injury, but now Sonny Nicol's been brought on.
I can confirm that it is a tactical change. Barry McDermott has come off and replaced by Sonny Nicol. And Phil Clark damaged the lateral ligament in his left ankle. It may not be broken, may not be as serious as it first seemed.
Great Britain needs some possession. Lee Jackson, he's doing very, very well around that play the ball area, the Sheffield Eagles hooker. Had a very good series. Schofield, Edwards. That's a good ball, out wide to Powell. Gets it back to Robinson. Still keeps it moving. Gary Connolly. To Farrell, he's got Newlove outside him. Newlove, oh, he's thrown it inside. He was being pushed into touch, was Paul Newlove.
But both these teams are not frightened to throw the ball around.
Now, possibly a little bit of a desperation, though. He realised he was going to go into touch and threw the ball back inside, hoping it would go to Great Britain hand.
Well, certainly it's a tough, hard test match is this, and Lee Jackson down now. A magic sponge that seems to cure everything.
It was in making the tackle. Lee Jackson just got his head in the wrong place and met Laurie Daly full head on.
Possibly a hint of an elbow with Laurie Daly there too.
I don't think so. If you've seen it again, I think Laurie Daly pushed his hand forward. I think his head more or less come with the ball where the ball is. Maybe it might have hit the elbow where the ball was, but I don't think it was anything intentional there. It'd be a big loss if he has to come off Lee Jackson, because he's been one of the form players in this.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. He had the ball, he tried to push Lee Jackson. I think it's just unfortunate that Lee's tackling technique there got his head in the way.
Well, tackling technique or not, Lee Jackson certainly in some considerable pain. And Great Britain can ill afford to lose another player. Already, Alan Hunt and Phil Clark off the pitch. He looks more dazed than anything else. Having the smelling salts applied, and Bobby Goulding simply itching to get on. Lots of problems for Ellery Hanley.
Yeah, Laurie Daly just runs hard and straight at him, and Lee must be a little bit dazed after that.
In fact, there's even a hint there, he might have caught Martin Offiah's foot.
He may have done, but I think it's a bit hasty to want to make a change so close to half-time now, especially when it's your last replacement.
But of course, Bobby Goulding has played scrum hooker in a couple of Challenge Cup finals, so he's certainly used to the position, Steve.
Oh, he would be, but I mean, I just think that this stage of the game, they don't need to make another replacement.
Just 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Great Britain looking to get back on level terms. Edwards moving in midfield with Schofield. Good pass to Harrison, but still this green and gold defence remains firm. Dennis Betts driving at the line there. This is a good spell from Great Britain. 5 metres from the Australian try line. Schofield looking for the long ball. He finds Gary Connolly. Oh! He'll not be happy with that, will Gary Connolly. A chance gone begging.
It was a long ball from Gary Schofield. Instead of attacking the ball head on and straight, Great Britain went sideways a little bit, and that ball should have come back inside, but went straight into touch.
And there we see the handling errors, 4-3 for Great Britain, but really it's a very, very open game. The ball is moving, and I don't think we mind too many handling errors with play like this. And both sides are trying to use that long ball to break down the defence, aren't they?
They are, and they're standing and offloading also. Both teams is playing entertaining football. It's not dying on early plays.
Fittler. Australia's the masters at percentage rugby, just moving forward, absorbing ground. Steve Walters, the elder of the Walters twins on this tour, Kevin and Steve. Solid tackle by Carl Harrison, number 8 for Great Britain again there. Sean Edwards making Ricky Stewart rush with that kick. Offiah beats Ettingshausen, beats Pay, beats, oh, and he loses it, but it's behind it. Oh, well, was that a knock-on? It's a rip-out. Referee Harrigan accusing Ettingshausen of ripping the ball out of Martin Offiah's grasp. So a penalty.
I think this is a bit harsh here. We'll have a look on the replay. He's made the tackle. He's come across his chest and then hit the ball. At worst, should have been a knock on to Great Britain, like Eddinghausen knocked the ball on, but I don't think he tried to rake the ball out.
Well, I don't think it was a knock on, Steve. I think the ball went behind him, but I would agree with you there. I think Great Britain will look.
No, knock on the head of Eddinghausen, because when he knocked the ball out, it's gone forward, so it should have been a scrum with Great Britain feet.
There's enough argument on that field without Great Britain and Australia arguing up here.
That's right.
Steve Renouf then, in possession. A try scorer. And here we see Nickel. Fittler. Meninga. Launching, looking for more points just as we approach the half-time hooter. Just 1 minute remaining, 60 seconds for Great Britain to hold out here. Stewart, again, another 30-40 yard pass. Oh, picked up there, ideally, to Greg Florimo. Florimo puts the kick in. Oh, and Jason Robinson saves the day, but I must question Florimo there. Did he put that kick in a little too early? He had men outside him. I think there would have been greater danger with a pass, Joe.
Possibly, yes. But you mentioned earlier about the wide ball that both teams are playing, using long, straight passes. But Australia are doing a lot better with it because they're getting players running straight onto the ball, which is a big difference.
So Great Britain to drop out again, but certainly with all this long passing and attacking down the flank, Steve, we're going to be in for a very tiring 40 minutes in the second half.
I think so. Fitness is going to play a big part in this game.
Well, the hooter has gone, but the player must go to the floor before they move. Well, I certainly did hear a hooter. I think it must have been a hooter in the crowd, but Mr. Harrigan, I also heard it. He looked to the sidelines and instructed to play on. So, still time for someone to score. Fittler. Steve Walters. Stewart. Again, the wide pass to Daly. Daly cuts inside. Very dangerous customer to get hold of. He's very, very strong. The fifth tackle. Back to Stewart. He looks for the drop goal. And it's there. Mr. Harrigan's just looking for confirmation. Well, it was worth taking by Ricky Stewart. He knows that the seconds are up to the half, and that edges them out just a little more. 7-2 for Australia.
The last minutes of this half, Ricky Stewart takes the option of a drop goal. 1 point could be crucial later on.
It may well be, but I do think that Great Britain have done very well here, especially the last 10 minutes, because Australia have had a lot of the football, and they've tried a lot of times to score, and to their credit, they've tackled well, Great Britain.
Greg Florimo, the North Sydney forward, utility man, plays standoff, plays loose forward. And here's another man who plays at standoff and loose forward, Fittler. And been outstanding, my man of the tour for the Kangaroos. Stewart. And there is the official hooter. We've had one.
Commentary team, Steve Sims, Joe Lydon, and of course, Ray French.
Yes, and the fans certainly in good heart doing the Mexican way, but I think as we approach the final 40 minutes, Joe, one of the biggest problems for Great Britain is with these substitutes. We've got one remaining, Bobby Goulding, as fiery as he is, as hard as he is, he's only a back, isn't he? And these big men will tell in the final 20 minutes.
That's right, I'm sure nobody's questioning Bobby's ability or his wholehearted approach to the game, but if a forward does go off in an already reshuffled pack, then it could cause problems to bring what is basically a half-back on to fill a forward's shoes.
And there the sad sight of Alan Hunt there, helping to hobble away, but urging the lads on. It really is a backs-to-the-wall job for Great Britain. And Barry McDermott, who did so well in that opening half hour. Certainly these fans urging Great Britain on. 140,000 fans have watched the three tests, record aggregate for the tour. One wonders what those crowds would have been if we'd have had bigger grounds than Ellen Road and Old Trafford. But that man there, Laurie Daly, providing the problem. And number 14, Bobby Goulding, he'll be itching to get on the field. I'm sure he will do. Referee Bill Harrigan about to get the game underway. And Edwards does so with a long ball to Lazarus, who'll no doubt use his bulk to get as near to that 20-metre line as he possibly can. Meninga shrugs off Andrew Farrell. Dean Pay. And Ian Roberts back on the field again after that spell in the blood bin. Back to Stewart, trying to set up the position for Australia. Connolly. Steve Renouf and Wishart moved up very, very quickly there, Steve.
They did, and also Gary Connolly put them onside by touching it with his foot. As soon as he touched the ball, they were all onside.
Paul Newlove dumped to the ground there by Lazarus, and Roberts gives him a pat on the back. A fire. Australia look to have come out in mean mood. The tackles are really going in hard and strong. Just look at that one there, straight with the shoulder from Bradley Clyde. It's a bruising battle for the Ashes. Mullins judged it well. Sonny Nicol did well to get up there. Fittler got plenty of pace, but ran straight into that tackle of Andy Farrell. Roberts, one of the tall, lean, fit props. We'll go back 30, 40 years ago, a bit of a difference in girth and circumference. You could have a sponsored run around one or two that I played with, but certainly these men different today. Stewart. Daly. Oh, launching Mullins out wide. He's got the pace. Not the best of passes. Renouf surely knocked on, but Gary Schofield's in there.
I don't think he knocked on. He missed the ball, then kicked it through with his foot.
Connolly, as Great Britain try to regroup.
Mullins in acres of space here, runs through. Edwards again covering across.
Great Britain still having difficulty breaking down this defence. They certainly got this sliding defence, Australia, off to an art. They move in very, very quickly like a wedge at to play the ball and slide across the field to the cover. Good angle of running by Farrell, but the same treatment from Pay and Walters. Robinson. Schofield. But good positional play by Mullins. He always seems to be where the ball bounces, where the ball... Oh, he's lost it! Oh, well! The touch judge on this side is signalling a knock-on. I thought Mr. Harrigan would have played advantage, but no, he's awarding the scrum.
Mullins looks dangerous every time he brings the ball back, but this time there's 3 men in the tackle, and as he goes down, well, possibly there's a hand in there from Darryl Powell.
Great Britain then, on the attack. Schofield misses out power to Newlove, tries to step inside. Very fast for one so big is Paul Newlove. Great Britain continuing it down that blind side. Darryl Powell. The crowd getting behind him. 39,000 capacity here at Ellen Road. Shaun Edwards looks for support. He's got Dennis Betts. Betts can't just get away. Renouf just holds his jersey. Still Great Britain on the attack. Jason Robinson for the line. Good pass. Oh, that was knocked down by Australia, surely. Yes, I think it was. Roberts looks a little bit concerned.
Jason Robinson manages to get the ball out in the tackle, just slips it to Lee Jackson, and as Lee Jackson looks to get it wide, and it's Ian Robertson who puts his hand in and stops it.
And it is Great Britain's head and ball, Shaun Edwards to feed. Picked up by Chris Joynt. Joynt going for the line himself. Oh, it's intercepted by that man, Meninga. Really a risky pass by Chris Joynt. But Meninga came up there again, and the pressure off.
Well, there's no need for that because Australia was under pressure there, and it was a pass from Chris Joynt that wasn't on.
Yeah, Meninga had it covered all the way. If the ball had gone to hand, there'd been 4 points. But like you say, it's risky at that time of the game. Also, with the pressure that they've been applying, they should have kept the ball and tried to score maybe on the next tackle or the one after.
Lazarus crashes off 2 or 3 Great Britain defenders. Farrell clinging to him for dear life. But it's Australia with a roll from these play the ball. Sean Edwards, good tackle. Ricky Stewart coming in. And suddenly, from almost conceding a try, Australia at the other end of the field. That's the mark of the world champions. Fittler. The kick for Brett Mullins, but well read by Connolly. Another fierce shoulder tackle.
That is Australia's strength, though. Great Britain nearly score at one end. Australia get the ball back and then go the full length, and now you're going to see Great Britain struggle to get out of their own 25.
Jackson. Darryl Powell, he linked very well on the short side there, and that looked a high tackle from Glenn Lazarus, but referee Harrigan having nothing to do with it. Schofield trying to get the attack going. Short pass to Joynt. Good pass to Edwards. A fire back to Edwards again. They've got a 3-2 overlap. Paul Newland on the outside. Can't get away. Tremendous play from Great Britain there. But Great Britain on the attack. Back to Schofield. Driving forward to Farrell. Gets it back to Gary Connolly. Good support work. Back to Robinson. There's a little gap. Can't quite get through. On the fifth tackle. Great Britain running it. Edwards, the chip. Well, Ettingshausen's there. He's pushed over the line. But that was a vital save by Andrew Ettingshausen. And suddenly this Ashes test is alight.
This is more likely from Great Britain. Lovely weighted kick from Sean Edwards. Ettingshausen had it covered, but good defence there.
They were hard done by, I thought, Australia, because they were all offside, Great Britain, especially Newland. He was inside the 10. It should have been a penalty to Australia.
And Andrew Ettingshausen in goal, taking the time, but that's the difference. 80% possession in this half. That's what Great Britain have got to have.
Not only that, Ray, they have to have some points. It's not good to have a possession and not getting over the line. Now it's a crucial time for them to score.
Jackson again making valuable ground, as he has done all game from that play the ball. Wanting to get a very quickly one. Edwards! Picked up well by Dean Pay. Schofield. The switch to Chris Joynt. Powell. Can he beat Renouf? No. Good tackle by Steve Renouf, the Brisbane Broncos player. But Great Britain trying to break down this green and gold defence on the fifth tackle. Schofield again. Gets the ball well to Edwards. Oh, it's a bit wild. Picked up by Martin Lafayette. Back inside to Robinson. Great Britain support play, superb. Back to Joynt. Out to Farrell. This is good stuff. It's a race for that corner. Oh, Flynn just got across there. No wonder Laurie Daly congratulates Mullins and Rod Wishart. Magnificent wing play there from the Illawarra Steelers. But the crowd here at Ellen Road, they're on their feet. Great Britain taking the game to the world champions.
Handling skills of the highest quality. Great Britain are moving the ball, keeping the ball alive. The kick from Farrell into the corner. Desperation from Australia to clear it.
This really was one of the great saves in Ashes rugby. The beautifully placed kick. Connolly's going for it. It's bobbling, it's bouncing on the line, and look at Wishart from the other wing. Magnificent play. But Great Britain roaring on all cylinders. Dennis Betts. Carl Harrison. This is what Test match rugby's all about, Steve.
It is. It's hard, it's tough, it's fast, it's going from end to end. And it's like Joe said before, they've got to score soon, Great Britain, or they're going to lose it because they've had a lot of possession. They need to score a try.
They're certainly running Australia around. Just over 10 minutes gone in this second half, but as Steve said, still no try. That defence holding. Sonny Nicol tries a dash down the line. Sean Edwards working well at half-back with Schofield. Good ball to Powell. But don't they shut down the gaps well? Laurie Daly sensing again. Connolly. That's the handover.
They're still running across field all the time, Great Britain. There's no one running straight onto the ball. That's why the Australian defence can shift across, because they're throwing the ball and running the same way as the defence is going.
We mentioned that in the first half, that Australia are much more effective because they have the likes of Renouf and Meninga running straight onto the ball, so that the wide pass is effective because you're hitting somebody in the hole.
You are, and with the Australians, the pace they've got out wide, if you're throwing the ball out there and running across that way, they'll get you all the time.
And some slight concern on the Australian bench about potential injuries. Andrew Ettingshausen just had a word with the physio. He's not at all running freely, as you can see. They're going to make a change now. And Glenn Lazarus too has a slight hip injury as well. They're keeping an eye on him.
Roberts driving in. Meninga taking a little pressure off his teammates, and Tim Brasher on the field. For Ettingshausen, he's played many times on the wing with Balmain. Stewart still manages to get that ball away. Renouf, well, was that a knock-on? The crowd roared for it. Wishart. Picked up well by Gary Connolly. And it's, well, Wishart and Connolly having a little argument there. Passions are really raising now. This is the crucial time in this Test match, and a good word of caution from referee Harrigan.
Well, Wishart a little bit over-enthusiastic here. Gary Connolly tries to get rid of him on the outside. He makes the tackle, then continues with it. There's no need for it, and he's really let Great Britain off the hook a little bit.
And Gary Connolly is annoyed because Wishart was offside when that ball came off the Australian boot.
He was. The referee kept telling Wishart that he was in front of the kicker, and he still went through with the tackle.
Sonny Nicol. And Australia now beginning to fight for their dear lives to hold on to this scoreline of 7 points to 2. And holding on there, it's a penalty. A penalty against Dean Pay.
This is a penalty for not releasing the player after the tackle was made. Andy Farrell tries to get up quickly to play the ball. The ball's on the floor there, he's looking at the referee and he just can't play it.
Australia should have got the penalty. You have to retain possession when you get up. He never ever held the ball to get up on his feet, and he was on the ground when he put the ball on the ground. It should be a penalty to Australia.
Well, I disagree there, Steve. I've seen some players sent to the sin bin this season for holding on, but it's still Great Britain on the attack to Edwards. Edwards to Gary Schofield. Paul Newlove. Back to Lee Jackson. Great Britain desperate to grab a try. 15 metres from the Australian line. Edwards again. Looks for a pass, tries to go through himself. Well held by Daly. Having a fine game is the Great Britain skipper. Really answering his critics, showing his skills, as is this man, Gary Schofield. To Powell, he's got a fire outside him. Oh, he just didn't read him, just didn't see him. Martin Afire was racing up. Robinson. And it's desperate defence from Australia. On the fit tackle to Schofield. A high ball. Well taken.
I think I'll agree, Steve, that Great Britain have to start looking to turn the ball back inside a little more, to take Australia on up the middle of the ruck, because it's not working out. They're not getting outside them. They're throwing the long ball, but they're not beating them on the outside. So maybe they're going to do what Lee Jackson is doing and take them all up the middle.
That's where they're making most of their yardies. Before was straight behind the play the ball area against Australia.
25 minutes remaining then to find the destiny of the Ashes in Australia's hands at the moment, but Great Britain certainly battling, as I don't think they've battled for a long, long time, really showing that Wembley spirit. Fine run by Steve Walters. Stewart will surely want to put that ball into the corner. No, he elects for the high one. He tests Gary Connolly. Picked up again by Stewart. Oh, there's a big gap emerged. Great Britain have got to put this man down. Well read by a fire, but still Australia put that ball out. Daly, the kick. Well picked up by Gary Connolly. And a forceful run by the Wigan player. This game really going from end to end here. And as we said, Joe, earlier on, in about another 10 minutes, some of these forwards are going to be out on their feet, aren't they?
Yeah, legs are definitely going to tire. It's been a fast game, and it's been, as you say, one from end to end. So something's got to give soon.
To Nicol. Nicol, he's got a break! Now then, he's certainly got pace as this man. Tremendous run there by Sonny Nicol. One man perhaps with fresh legs. Schofield to Edwards. A magnificent effort, as Joe Lydon said, turning the ball back inside to Farrell. Sean Edwards again. Schofield, the chip kick. And Lady Luck doesn't ride with Gary Schofield.
Well, this wasn't the greatest kick from Gary, I'm sure he'll admit himself. It didn't go far enough or high enough for him to retrieve it.
Both teams, neither team's frightened to throw the ball around. It's just gone from one end to the other. They just keep offloading all the time. It's good stuff.
Certainly seeing everything that's best about rugby league here. A magnificent test match here in progress. Poised. Which way will it go? Even Bobby Fulton there, a little panic-stricken perhaps. Jeff Carr speaking down to the bench, but Stevie Walters, a glorious run. Heading for that corner. That's really put pressure on Great Britain. On the fifth tackle. From attack to defence for Great Britain. Stewart trying to bring his runners on. They've got an overlap on this side. Wishart. Oh, he's going in. And Rod Wishart, after all that pressure, he's in at the corner. Great Britain have threatened so much, but Australia have come back and struck just when they weren't expecting it. 11-2 to Australia. That's why they're world champions. Rod Wishart, the scorer.
You can put this straight into tired legs, and Steve Walters' great run. He split the defence. The Australia players saw the defence was tatters and threw it wide. Wishart steps back inside here. Darryl Powell had no chance to try and stop him, and short distance from the line.
You notice here, Joe, what we were saying before, Australia have got runners coming in on the angle where they hold the defence up. You see Brad Clyde comes in the angle, holds Darryl Powell up. The opportunity for Australia to get out wide, he steps back inside Powell because he's wrong-footed him, where Great Britain kept going out all the time.
Well, you can argue amongst yourselves, but whatever, it was a fine try, and it's that man Laurie Daly again. The try scorer himself puts the final pass in, and really Darryl Powell, not much chance.
Maybe the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Rod Wishart then now to look for the conversion, 1 from 1, but a very difficult kick right out on the touchline. Some rather silly booing and jeering, obviously put him off, no need for it. So Australia then move out still further, 11 points to 2. And here we see the try, the pass initially from Stewart. These two master halfbacks, Daly going at the angle, holds Chris Joynt, and Wishart really, for one so strong in the upper body, an easy task. And we ask ourselves, I think, Steve, Joe, is it time to bring Bobby Goulding on to perhaps try something different in midfield?
Possibly. I mean, he's itching to get on there. He's on the bench. he'll be determined, and if he comes on, you can be sure that he'll try something to try and turn this game around.
Well, they don't need defensive players now, Great Britain. They have to score tries, so they need attacking players on there.
Yeah, certainly Gary Schofield or Darryl Powell could always move into one of the forward positions, the loose forward positions. They played there many times. Just halfway through the second half, Australia still in the ascendancy, but really having to battle for every point here. And a sensible kick. Sensible kick, just slowing the game down. Alan Hunt's just making his way down there into the dugout in some considerable pain. And Bobby Goulding, I'm sure he's not content just to sit on that bench. Fire really needs one of Fire's 70-80 yard specials to lift Great Britain. Jason Robinson still battling away, having a little argument with Steve Renouf. Gary Schofield to Dennis Betts.
They're too flat there, Ray. They've got to get deep and run onto them.
Great Britain there with all the possession, but of course the one strike from Australia that counts. Darryl Powell, Robinson beats Clyde, cuts through. Oh, what a game! What a game this man's having on the right wing. He certainly causes problems whenever he's in possession. Gary Schofield. There's an overlap here to a Fire, and the high kick. Sean Edwards is there. Oh, now then, that's offside. A penalty. That was a bad mistake. Laurie Daly, well, doesn't he look absolutely incensed? I don't think Laurie Daly can understand what happened there between him and Wishart.
There's a mix-up. One of them should have shouted for it clearly. I don't know what happened. Wishart runs straight into Laurie Daly.
It was the right decision here. Rod Wishart to go in, they bump into each other. Hits Rod Wishart first, then goes to Laurie Daly, who was in front of him, so it was a definite penalty.
And Sean Edwards, the Great Britain skipper, sensibly electing to take the kick off that Daly mix-up. And Andy Farrell to take the kick. A very powerful kicker, but here more just accuracy needed underneath the post. And of course every point valuable. Two more for Great Britain. The roars and the flags go up behind the post. 11-4 now for the tourists. And I don't think anybody leaving this ground, this is still anybody's test. Rod Wishart to kick off. Well taken by Edwards to Betts.
And the word from the Great Britain bench is that they're inclined to put Bobby Goulding on very, very shortly, and certainly will need every ounce of his enthusiasm and his drive in the latter part of this game.
And there is Bobby Goulding just on cue, waiting to come on. Schofield, Farrell. Darryl Powell ran very, very strongly in this match, as is this man, Carl Harrison. Ooh, just was trying to get that ball on the inside, but the ball was well clamped. Edwards, back to Schofield, the switch to Connolly. And again, that's a good long kick. It pressures Australia. It may have gone dead, but they're back in their own 20-metre area. Tim Brasher, not had seen much of the action since he came on. Fittler, Clyde. Mr. Harrigan screaming at the players to get off the tackled man. Lazarus runs strongly at the first receiver, absorbs a lot. Stewart, he's lost it. Well held there by Chris Joynt. He was almost tempted to pass, wasn't he?
He was. I just find it strange that Bob Fulton hasn't put any fresh men out on the forwards as yet. Yeah, the game's been hard, it's fast, and there's a few blokes out there now. You can see they got their back to they play the ball. Maybe some fresh legs might help.
Betts. Again, Lee Jackson making good ground there, the Australians. Oh, well, he's been held. That surely is a penalty. No, play on, says referee Harrigan. But that could well have been a penalty. Chris Joynt. Bradley Clyde did well to get away with that. Harrison was looking for the support there from the second rows. The short pass to Schofield. Dennis Betts, but it's on the fixed tackle. I think Gary Schofield forgot the actual tackle count there.
Some very tired players out there, Ray.
Fine. You think Ellery Hanley could be holding back with Bobby Goulding, that he's afraid of an injury?
Possibly, but like Steve said, you've got to get something different on there. Great Britain have to score points if they're going to win this game, so I don't think you can hold back and hope that, you know, you're going to use it later on if somebody gets injured. You have to go and play your cards now and try and win the game.
Ricky Stewart. Oh, Laurie Daly coming down the midfield. He's got Renouf outside him here. The sheer strength of Daly. Oh, but a tremendous tackle there from Sonny Nicol. That was good covering from the St Helens second row. But it's Australia on the attack again, surely looking for the killer punch. Stewart trying to get through on his knees. The fifth tackle, perhaps another drop goal. Fittler, he's got men queuing up on the outside. Oh, Steve Renouf dropped the ball and he would have had glory. He would have been one of the few players to have scored a try in all three tests.
I think Steve Renouf was counting his chickens here before they hatched. He thought he was over the line before he got all this ball.
Yeah, if he could have joined players like Kenny Irvine and Sam Backo, a scorer, try-scorer in all three tests.
Just early on, but when Laurie Daly made that break early on there, it was a real clever pass off Ricky Stewart. It tricked me up here in the commentary box. I thought it was going the outside.
He's mixed his game up well. Not only his passing game, but his kicking game is varied from play to play. He's done an excellent game, Ricky Stewart.
Jackson, Edwards, Andy Farrell. Lots of promise in this youngster, 19 years of age. We'll see him in many series to come. Martin Offiah, no way through. Edwards sensibly using the blind side. Chris Joynt. But tremendous tackling performance from these Australians. It really is very difficult to break them down. Nicol can't get it away. I don't think these rugby union coaches will be any wiser than us after this match if we don't score a try, Steve.
No, won't be. The defence has been great, the attack's been great. I just think it could be a time that Fulton could probably bring a fresh forward on, and Alan Langer.
Certainly some very, very tired Australians, never mind Great Britain players. Just look at the tackles there, 243 in this match.
Sonny Nicol gives a penalty here for going a little bit high, came over the top. I think he was frustrated that he didn't get the ball away in the last tackle in the set of play before.
Wishart. Dean Fay. Australia just quite content to settle down, play for the position here with the forwards. They've driven forward on three of the balls in their possession. Bradley Clyde taking it to the 10-metre line. Now they swing it. The 30-yard pass from Stewart to Daly. Here's the danger man, always got the power to come inside. Another man with power, Lazarus. Well held by Betts and Edwards. Oh, a dash for the line. Steve Walters is over that line. He's just held back. Or is he? No, the referee's going to give the try. Oh, Steve Walters, surely the clincher. He took advantage of a moment's hesitancy in the Great Britain ranks. He shot like a dart for the line. He looked to be over, then he looked to be pushed back, but somehow he's wriggled himself down. Under 4 points.
This might be the straw that broke the camel's back, like Steve said. Steve Walters spots the gap in the defensive line. It looks like he's covered, it looks like he's tackled. But he keeps working, he keeps powering those legs, twisting the tackle, turns. The referee was perfectly sighted there to see whether he got it down or not.
Yeah, this is real strength, Steve, for a hooker, isn't it?
It is. I think Shaun Edwards tried to do too much earlier. He dived over the top in the previous tackle, made the tackle there on the one before, just then, and then couldn't get up the mark, and Steve Walters went straight behind to play the ball when they only had one marker.
Yep, and here we see, he sees that gap, goes straight for it, and the sheer strength of the man through Schofield and Connolly, but he gets it on the line, and poor Carl Harrison looks for support from the referee, but he doesn't get it. Rod Wishards. With the kick. 2 points for Wishart, and surely now, unless we're to see something absolutely dramatic, Australia in control. 17 points to 4.
We've seen great handling skills and passing skills to score tries in today, but this is just power and skill. You notice here how he twists in the tackle to get his momentum round and over the try line.
Just 8 minutes remaining then for Great Britain to register a try or two. And there we see Bobby Goulding on the field for Chris Joynt, but I must confess I would like to have seen him on about 10-15 minutes ago, Steve.
I think they needed him 10 or 15 minutes ago. They had a lot of ball, they had a lot of pressure on Australia, never come up with any points, and they needed Bobby on there to get some points for him.
Pickler driving in. The Australians now content to play for possession. Chris Joynt coming off. He's had a good game. Mullins. Dean Pay. To Daly. Just easing Australia forward. And Ellery Hanley with no more cards to deal. Bobby Goulding, the last man on the field, all 4 substitutes used. Goulding in the scrum half position, Edwards to stand off, and Schofield to loose forward. Oh, Connolly. Martin afire, back to Edwards, back to Farrow. Robinson never stopped working, never stopped coming in midfield, always presented problems for the men in green and gold. Goulding looking to make a break, he does. Oh, he loses the ball, tried to get the pass through to Dennis Betts, well read by Laurie Daly, but that was an indication of what Goulding could do.
Yeah, it is. Bobby's a class player. He takes the forwards on, runs to the holes, and nearly something come up for Great Britain there.
And here we see Goulding, but just the ball clawed back by Laurie Daly. What a magnificent game has Daly had. And Stewart coming through. Oh, beautiful backhanded pass to Dean Pay. That was absolute sheer class. And Pay rewarded for his efforts on this tour. He came to Great Britain as a novice, He made his debut at Wembley, and now the try and the magic of that man there, Ricky Stewart, the Canberra Raiders half-back star.
This is almost arrogance by Ricky Stewart here. Shows the ball, spots the gap, holds the ball, goes through it with pace. Then you see Edwards trying to make the tackle, draws Gary Connolly and just flicks the ball at the back, and there's Dean Pay. That's a great ball and a great try.
And of course, he does know, Steve, he's got support, hasn't he?
He does. It's just a little flick out the back. As I said before, the pass he threw was something similar to Laurie Daly when he made the break when they scored earlier on up there. And he's just all class. And I don't know that I've seen Ricky play this good or run so much for a long time.
Rod Wishart then, looking for a third goal. Should have no problems with this. He doesn't. And confidence now simply oozing from these Kangaroo supporters. 23 points to 4 for Australia. But a tremendous effort by Great Britain. Just tired legs now.
Ricky Stewart's had a great all-round game, and he should be named man of the match. I'm sure he will be. Goes through the gap here, and watch this little flick pass out the back door.
And Australia still looking for points. Dean Pay, the try scorer.
That's where they're making all the yardies now, Australia, up behind the play the ball area because the forwards are getting tired. Great Britain's got no replacements, and they're making yardage there.
Just under 4 minutes remaining, and number 3 there, Mal Manning, acknowledging the bad pass on his part, but we can excuse that bad pass, I think. 12 years at test level. Goulding. Edwards. Paul Newlove. Martin Offiah still vainly trying to combine with this man Jason Robinson and work a try. They certainly deserve a try, and there's the man, the man of the match, Steve Walters. I think it'd be a narrow vote between him and Stewart, but I wouldn't grumble.
I've never been able to pick a winner.
Powell lost it in the tackle. Play on, says referee Harriger. Picked up by Farrow. To Offiah. Great Britain, no, really, they're a lost cause, just moving this ball, can't find any way through. Nicol or Candy, just 2 minutes left. Jason Robinson, picked up by Clyde. Well held by Powell.
It's about the only mistake Jason Robinson's made all game there, just pushing that pass, and Brad Clyde coming up with it.
Oh, superb burst by Fickler. Around Australia, they're rampant here. There's that man, Dean Pay again.
It's still standing off Ricky Stewart. He's just he's got all the time in the world to pick his runners. He stops, passes inside, outside. They've got to move forward to him.
6 again, the ball knocked down by the Great Britain player. Daly to Renouf, looking for that third try. Will he get it? No, he won't. Nicol, content, and pushed into touch. And Jason Robinson looks like cramp. Certainly the stocking has been loosened. The calf looking very, very tight. And as he might well be after all the running that man's done today. Schofield. Out to Newlove. Tex Meninger on yet again. And certainly that bench has been a casualty station for Great Britain this afternoon. Robinson in some trouble. Farrow. But all credit to this Great Britain side. They've not stopped working. They've not stopped playing good rugby. But Australia looking to win the 8th successive Ashes series in Britain, going right back to 1963 when Ian Walsh led Australia to success. A high one from Goulding. Oh, and Ricky Stewart certainly took him out, and quite honestly, surely Ricky Stewart should be sent to the sin bin. As late as it is in this match, it was deliberate, it was intentional. But play on, says referee Harrigan.
Well, it was a high kick. Yeah, Ricky Stewart just stepped into his path there. His path to Bobby Goulding.
Well, that was a cynical obstruction. But Great Britain on the attack. Edwards looking for a consolation try, but there won't be one. It's all over. Australia have won. And Joel, they deserved it, didn't they?
They did. They played well throughout the series and all the touring games over here, and today they've just clinched a great series win. It's been a good performance by all the Australian players. Gutsy won by Great Britain, but not enough to win on the day.
And great friendship between these two players. It's been a battle in all 3 tests, but we see the companionship and camaraderie between these two sides. But an 8th successive Ashes series in Britain. The Kangaroos, they lost at Wembley, but as on 5 previous occasions, they've won the series after losing the opening test. And Mal Meninga, a farewell for Great Britain. The last time we'll see him playing on British soil. I'm sure, without being discourteous, Great Britain will be glad to see the back of him. But a man with, I think, a few years to play yet, Ricky Stewart, for my man, the man of the series, the inspiration when he was brought in at Old Trafford, repeated the performance he had in 1990. They moved to France in the morning, but I'm sure Brett Mullins, Dean Pay and Tim Brasher, they know that this is the series that really counts 12,000 miles away. And this was the 80 minutes. And they've had to work hard, Steve, haven't they?
They have worked hard. I thought it was a great game of rugby league. Both teams threw the ball around. Their defence was solid, and there was nothing tougher than this game. Unfortunately, Great Britain had a couple of players taken off early, and that was the difference in it. But it was an entertaining. I don't think anybody could not have enjoyed it as a spectacle entertainment-wise.
Gary Schofield just consoling Shaun Edwards, but no fault to Shaun Edwards. He certainly played his heart out, and the Australian team acknowledging the support of their fans. Gerald Powell just getting a handshake there from Alan Hunt. Always a disconsolate team in defeat. But I'm sure Great Britain know that despite all the efforts, despite all the exertions, they were second best to the men in green and gold. Bradley Clyde, influential in all the test series. As with those fans, they followed them to Cumbria, St Helens, Warrington, Steve Renouf, a try in the first 2 tests. It's been a tremendous tour for Australia, Steve.
It has. They'll go home with the Ashes again. The people back home who are watching the game, they'd be delighted. And it just shows that the work that is put in by these professional players, that they get their just rewards at the end of the day.
Just the one defeat on this 14-match tour. Perhaps not as long as the 1908 45-match tour, but I think now more arduous with all the super fitness of these men. And as these fans wend the way home from London and Manchester, 12,000 miles, they'll remember this match. A tremendous exhibition of rugby. For so long, Great Britain putting the pressure on, but then Mal Meninga and his men turning the screw, striking when necessary, and now receiving due applause. Bobby Fulton achieving a 3rd successive Ashes win as a coach. A success as a player, now as a coach. And Rugby League's Public Affairs Executive Harry Gratian just trying to usher the Aussie side up for that Ashes trophy. They have a celebratory dinner tonight, and I think the celebrations will go on almost until taking off time. And Bobby Fulton, does his expression ever change? I doubt it. I doubt it. Well, there is a smile at last.
To the winners of the 1994 John Smith Test Series.
And Mal Meninga about to complete his 4th victorious tour. And a record 2nd Ashes winning captain receives it from Derek Noble, director of Courage. What a player, what a team. Victorious with the Ashes trophy again. An example to youngsters in rugby throughout the world. And the reign of the green and golds continues. 1959 when Great Britain last won in this country. 35 years the Kangaroos have been coming here. Steve Renouf, a try at Wembley, 1 at Old Trafford. The fireworks go off in celebration. Glenn Lazarus, the brick as he's known down under. And the crowd have enjoyed themselves, whatever. Brett Mullins, so influential from the back. Tim Brasher, the substitutes. Brett Fickler and Rod Wishart, the point scorer. And the substitute who never got on the field, David Furley and Greg Florimore. Andrew Ettingshausen smiling despite the leg. The fireworks lighting up the sky. And the try scorers, Dean Pay and the man who finally clinched it, Steve Walters.
Mal Meninga, congratulations. What was the difference in your side today?
Oh, I think we had the determination. It was a very tight struggle. Great Britain wanted to win the game desperately today, and so did we. And I think we just hung in there, and our breaks come our way.
You've had a magnificent career. Do you appreciate the reception you've got from great British fans?
Oh, of course, it's always the same. We really enjoy playing over here. Like I said, the fans appreciate good rugby league, and hopefully we entertain them on this tour.
The Ashes for you again, but are Great Britain catching you up? Are we getting closer?
Well, I've been getting closer in the last 4 years. I think that whenever they play maybe World Cup next year, they might have come a little bit further. 98, it's going to be very difficult for the Kangaroos.
I'm sure you'd like to pay tribute to your players.
Well, we had a great squad. The whole touring squad played terrifically all tour and put a lot of pressure on test positions. And in the end, I think it paid off. We was playing with a lot of form and a lot of character. And today, there's only 17 players can make the field, and they all put the effort in.
On behalf of British sports fans, we enjoyed watching you play rugby over here. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, thanks very much. I enjoyed playing over here, and I'll come back on holidays. Thank you.
And I think we all hope he only does come back for holidays. We certainly only want him on that field again. But
Sean Edwards, Great Britain gave it everything, but we just didn't have enough today.
Yes, I think the first try was just probably a little bit fortunate from Australia. If we'd have got him 2-0 up, it might have been a different story, but due credit to the Australians, the worthy world champions, and I hope they have a safe journey home.
At the start of the second half, we had pressure. Did Great Britain need to score then?
We needed to score. I don't think the bounce of the ball went our way, but that's rugby league. We didn't hold the ball enough times with 6 tackles. I think that was our biggest downfall.
Are we getting closer to Australia, though?
Probably on a national level, I don't know, because it was maybe a little bit closer last time, but it's been a tremendous series all the way from the Wembley game up to this one, and I hope the people at home watching the game have enjoyed it.
And finally, a tribute to Mal Meninga.
Well, Mal Meninga's a legend, in Australian football and over here in England. For a rugby league player to win the Sports Personality of the Year, it shows, what highest team he's held in.
And you've enjoyed today, Sean. It's much better than Wembley.
Well, I've enjoyed today, but I prefer to have won, though, Val.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Sean Edwards had a great match, but it's Australia's Ashes again, and Jonathan Davis deservedly so.
Yeah, they took the chances, and they defended superbly and stopped Britain scoring, especially at the start of the second half. And as always happens, they broke away and scored.
Let's take a look at some of the Great Britain attacking early on in that second half, that if they'd broken through, well, the series could have been decided then and there.
That's right, Steve Sims, he said they were running across the field a bit, but like I said, got to be more direct, because the slight defence is so good. The Australians, they try and push you out wide, and then they push you into touch. So you know, it's always difficult to break down. You know, and not many people have scored tries against them, you know, throughout the tour. But we had our chances. You know, the little kick, you know, nearly worked. Great, same again. Great defensive work by Ettinghausen then, and they forced the kick out. But maybe they should have used the kicks a little bit more. I think this could have been the turning point. You know, they'd been encamped on their line for a good 10 minutes. First tackle, if the ball would have gone to Gary, it was over. Unfortunately, you know, I think Chris will look at that tomorrow and say maybe he should have held on, and he did, yeah. But you know, you got to make these choices in the spur of the moment, and Chris could have been the hero.
But there was some desperate defending as well. Wishart played his part spectacularly, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, he covered the back three of the full-back and the two wingers worked very well as a team, and they covered each other. And when Mullins couldn't get to the ball, Ettinghausen or Wishart was there.
Do you think the thought was that Great Britain were moving across the field instead of attacking the line rather more directly? Do you think they could have done any more in that passage of play?
They are difficult to break down, the Australians. You know, the Winfield Cup in Australia is geared on, you know, on defence. That's the main priority. And if they go ahead, it's always difficult to pull back, because, you know, they're so confident in their own defensive abilities. You know, they ooze confidence, and they tell you to, you know, to come at them. What you've got to be is you've got to be more direct. Either throw a dummy and take somebody on. Hopefully, you know, you beat him, or, you know, he slips off the tackle and you're through. But it is very, very difficult to break them down. And
the Australian tries that follow certainly used confidence, especially this one from Dean Pay.
Yeah, you know, Ricky's been playing well. You know, at the start of the tour, he wasn't getting in because of Alfie Langer, but you know, he throws the dummy, slips the tackle. That's just class, that. You know, you can't coach that, really. You know, peripheral vision.
Does it emphasise the golf as we look ahead now to the World Cup next season? How much work does Great Britain have to do to reduce the gap to the class of the Australians?
I think they've got you know, the strength in depth. You know, Dean Pay, you know, is a novice on this tour, and just shows he goes over for the, you know, try in the third test, and there's another, you know, 6 or 7 of Dean Pay's in Australia ready to take his place. So it is difficult. You know, we've got maybe 20 players, 25 players who can compete on international level, but we need you know, better strength and depth. As regards to the World Cup, you know, we know what we've got to do again. Unfortunately, you know, or fortunately, you know, the Great Britain team will be disrupted. You know, it's going to be Wales and England, so I'll be playing against all those lads, and you know, it makes it you know, a difficult task.
That World Cup on BBC television. Thanks for your help today, Jonathan. What's the fitness situation now?
I think, you know, I wanted to play, you know, desperately, but I think I'm out for another fortnight again at least, and you know, take my time now.
Big one to miss, but thanks for today, and the Ashes with Australia once again. But